Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and uncover those invisible doors that swing wide open the absolute second you click accept on Anthropic's new terms of service. For a really long time, Claude built its reputation as the privacy-first AI. It was basically a safe haven in a tech landscape where our data is just constantly being harvested. But a quiet, kind of easy-to-miss update fundamentally changed what it means to use their service. Today we're looking specifically at your privacy and the honestly unprecedented access you might be handing over to Anthropic without even realizing it.
To truly understand the stakes here, we really have to look at the massive community backlash surrounding the potential loss of intellectual property. Like this quote from an independent developer on Reddit, which perfectly captures a rapidly growing sentiment among everyday users. Think about it from their perspective for a second. For a solo developer, their proprietary code, their unique business strategies, they aren't just text on a screen. That is literally their livelihood. It's their competitive edge. So when they fear that opting into these new terms means their hard work might just become free training data for massive corporate AI systems, well, it creates a very real, very tense David versus Goliath scenario.
And then consider this staggering number, 6,000%. By simply accepting the default settings on your account, Anthropic's data retention time increases by 6,000%. I promise you, that is not a typo. Under the old rules, your data was kept for roughly 30 days, just so the system could function, and then it was purged. You were safe. Now, under this new opt-in default, that timeline stretches out to 5 whole years.
Section 1. The September Privacy Pivot.
Let's look exactly at how one of the most trusted AI assistants completely shifted its stance on your data. Back in May 2025, the policy was essentially an ironclad promise. They were explicitly stating they would not train models on your private materials. But by September, the corporate language completely flipped. It now states they may use your materials to develop other products and services, including training their models, unless you manually opt out. That single word change, from will not to may, legally opens the floodgates to your chat history.
Observers and privacy researchers quickly pointed out that this controversial user interface effectively secured consent before many people realized what they were actually giving away. Millions of users got an email leading to a pop-up with a massive, practically unmissable black accept button. But tucked right underneath that button was a toggle switch preset to on to help improve Claude. Think about the last time you saw a pop-up in the middle of a super busy workday. Did you read the fine print, or did you just click accept to get back to what you were doing? If you clicked, you actively opted into a 5-year retention window for training data. Independent privacy evaluations have forcefully argued this mimics what's known as a dark pattern, which is a design trick meant to benefit the company, and it could soon draw some very serious attention from strict GDPR regulators.
Section 2. Anatomy of the accept button.
So what does that single click actually cost you? The absolutely crucial point here is understanding this legal risk, known as a confidentiality waiver. Let's break this down simply. Imagine pasting your company's unreleased Q4 financials, or maybe a block of unpatented source code, into the chat just to get a quick summary. By doing so with training enabled, you've essentially waived confidentiality. You've inadvertently turned your proprietary secrets into training data. For privacy chiefs and legal teams everywhere, this single risk fundamentally changes the entire vendor scoring matrix for allowing AI tools in the workplace. The massive scope of information Anthropic collects to feed its pipeline once that permission is granted is truly eye-opening. It is absolutely not just the text of your chat. It's the sensitive files you upload, the thousands of lines of code you debug, your specific device type, your IP address, and even data from third-party integrations like Google Drive or Slack if you've ever connected them. When you combine all of these data points together, you aren't just providing text prompts, you are handing over a shockingly accurate, highly detailed digital fingerprint of yourself and your entire workflow.
We're seeing widespread, genuine concern from independent creators who fear their innovative solutions are being systematically redistributed to anyone who asks the AI the right questions. You can kind of think of this as the unpaid R&D department. Solo developers are pouring their unique agility and creativity into prompts to solve really hard problems. The AI learns from those problem-solving sessions. Then a massive corporate competitor queries that exact same AI and gets the benefit of that perfectly refined answer. You're doing the hard work and someone else is reaping the insights.
Moving on to Section 3. The 5-year data catch.
If you leave those default settings on, your proprietary brainstorms and debugging sessions will live in Anthropic's system for half a decade. To put this timeline in perspective, standard API logs are deleted in just 7 days. If you manually opt out, your chats are gone in 30 days. If your content is flagged for a safety violation, it's kept for 2 years.
But if you opted in via that pop-up, you're on the hook for up to 5 years. And look, in the fast-moving world of artificial intelligence, 5 years is an absolute eternity. 5 years ago, advanced models like GPT-4 or Claude 3 weren't even a rumor. Who knows what hyper-advanced AI systems will be doing with your 2025 brainstorms in the year 2030?
Disabling training tomorrow unfortunately leaves yesterday's material embedded in the AI's memory permanently. This is a massive, unavoidable caveat. Even if you completely panic and delete a chat today, it still takes 30 days to fully clear Anthropic's backend servers. But more importantly, if your data was already ingested and used to train the model before you deleted it, it absolutely cannot be unlearned. Once your data is used for training, it becomes part of the model's fundamental structure, known as weights. It's literally like trying to unbake a cake to get your specific egg back. It is scientifically impossible.
Section 4. Consumer versus enterprise tiers.
The rules in the AI landscape are simply not the same for everyone. Everyday users surrender data by default, while corporate clients who can pay for enterprise tiers remain fully protected. If you're on the free, pro, or even the team plan, you fall under the consumer terms, meaning your data can be used for training if you clicked accept. But enterprise and API users, they're heavily guarded by commercial terms where training is strictly prohibited, and features like zero data retention are instantly available. The HIPAA compliance aspect is a huge deal here. Enterprises care deeply about this dividing line because operating on the consumer tier means failing strict regulatory health and privacy standards, which can cost businesses millions in fines.
This deep divide creates a severe compliance headache for businesses. We call this the shadow AI risk. When employees bypass enterprise protections and inadvertently leak data through their personal accounts, it creates a massive blind spot for corporate governance. Think about an employee who logs into their personal $20 a month pro account at home just to quickly summarize a highly confidential internal memo. Suddenly, that memo is subjected to the 5-year retention and training pipeline of a consumer account. The company's carefully constructed enterprise shield is completely bypassed just because one employee was looking for a shortcut.
When individual developers must choose between privacy and functionality, while enterprises get both, that's a structural design that affects who can thrive. This quote perfectly captures the core debate we're seeing. Many users argue this setup systematically neutralizes the agility of solo developers. It essentially acts as an innovation extractor. It leverages the raw creativity of everyday users and indie developers to build and train a smarter system, while large corporations who can easily afford the premium enterprise tier get all the benefits of that hyper-trained AI without ever risking a single drop of their own intellectual property.
Finally, Section 5. How to protect your data.
Okay, let's get actionable and walk through exactly how you can reclaim your digital privacy right now. So if you want, grab your laptop or open the app on your phone. Here is exactly what you need to do to opt out and ensure your future conversations are excluded from Anthropic's training pipeline. First, hit your account settings. Next, select the privacy menu. Finally, and this is the most important part, flip the Help Improve Claude toggle completely off. It's that simple, but you have to actively take these steps. Once it's toggled off, you drop back down to a standard 30-day data retention window used strictly for service delivery, not model training.
Regardless of your account type, adopting strict data hygiene is the only guaranteed way to mitigate these confidentiality waiver risks. Remember, convenience is almost always the enemy of security. Never share sensitive identifiers like social security numbers or passwords. If you absolutely must process proprietary algorithms to debug a problem, take the extra minute to strip out the identifying markers first. And for the absolute strictest privacy, without purchasing a massive enterprise plan, you should strongly consider using Anthropic's API directly. The API defaults to a flat, non-negotiable 7-day retention with zero training allowed.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to look closely at your own digital footprint. The next time you're rushing to meet a deadline and you paste a brilliant proprietary idea into a chat window, ask yourself a very serious question. In the rapid age of AI, is the convenience of a 5-second summary truly worth signing over your intellectual property for the next 5 years? Your data is incredibly valuable. Make sure you're the one deciding who actually gets to use it.